This is Amy Chan from CakeDecoratingSchool.com, and if you like cake decorating, you're in the right place. In this video, we're making a set of Easter-themed cupcakes. It's broken down into steps so you can skip ahead, rewind, and rewatch as desired. We're going to make several colors for this cupcake set, and to start with, we're going to make some light yellow. We're using American-style buttercream for these, but you could use whatever kind you like. We're using the following liquid gel color shades: lemon yellow, sunset orange, neon bright pink, and finally, royal blue. We're going to start out with a toothpick and just a couple of specks of lemon in our buttercream. We just want to make a nice light yellow so you can really add as little or as much as you want to this. And here we have our nice shade of pastel yellow. Next up, we're going to make some pink. We're just going to give it a couple of specks of that neon bright pink, so we're making a nice light shade. And here we have our pink. If you'd like it to be a little darker, just add a few more specks of that neon bright pink. Next up is some green. We're just going to do a few little specks of that royal blue and a couple of lemon to match, because we want a color that's kind of equal value, equal mix of blue and yellow to get a nice green. We're not doing too much, so it's still going to be a nice pastel, but if we made it a really intense shade, it would be kind of like a leaf green. So this is a nice, just kind of light shade of that. And here is our final color. We're going to make some blue. We don't need very much, so I just have about like a tablespoon in there. And I'm just going to give it a little speck of that royal, because we want to make a nice light color that kind of matches the others in terms of value, so we don't want to use too much color. And here we have our blue. You can see it's a nice light shade. Our final color is going to be just a little bit of orange. And like the blue, we don't need a lot, and we're just going to give it a few little specks of that sunset. And here we have that final shade of orange. We're going to use quite a few bags for this cupcake project, and you can see we've got them all laid out here. We're using 12-inch disposables, but you can use whatever you like. First up, we have our blue, which we're using with a number 2 tip. Next, our yellow. We've split this between 2 bags. The first we're using with a coupler and a 102 and a number 3. The other half of our yellow we have loaded into a bag with a larger decorator size tip, and this one is an 808. The green is in a bag with a number 233. This is a multi-opening grass tip. We'll be using 2 bags of white for this project as well. And we're using one with a coupler and numbers 5 and 12. Our second bag of white, we'll be using a number 806. We have the orange in a bag with a number 2 tip. And finally, our pink is also split between 2 bags. The first we'll be using with a number 5. And the second we'll be using with another large 806 tip. We're going to be using a variety of techniques for our little Easter cupcake set, the first of which are dots. We're going to be using those large oversized tips like our 808 and our 806 to do those. But we'll also be using some smaller tips like our 2 and 5. And for dots, we just want to be perpendicular to the surface, give it a little space between the tip and the surface, squeeze to get a nice full dot, and then stop and circle around. And that should give us a beautiful surface. We'll be making some shells as well. These we're doing with our round tips, so they're going to be smooth shells, but they follow the same method. Our bag at 45 degrees, start out touching. We're going to squeeze and lift up just a bit to let it roll over. And then we're going to pull down in a way to make a nice teardrop or shell shape. We're going to make some triangles on this one. We're doing it with a number 2 tip because we only want to make a small triangle. If you wanted to make larger ones, you'd need a larger tip. And basically what we're going to do is pick a point and start and just draw. So think making those 3 points really tight together so that you make a little triangle there. And we're going to use this for the beaks on our little chicks. Pills. For this one, you want to think about making a dot and then instead of finishing it, sliding and extending it. We're using our 12 tip, so we want to be straight up and down above the surface so our frosting can balloon out some. Let it make a nice dot and then just extend it slightly. When you want to finish it, stop and just slide back on that little pill shape you made for a clean finish. For our grass, we're going to use a number 233 tip. For this one, you want to treat it a little bit like dots. We're going to be straight up and down. We're going to be close to, but not touching the surface. We just want to give the frosting a little bit of space to balloon and connect before we pull up and away. And on this one, we still want to be squeezing so we make those nice little peaks or points. We're also going to be using some of our petal tips. This one is our 102. We're going to make some nice little teardrop shaped petals for a little basic 5-petal flower. Our first cupcake style is going to be our little chick. We're going to take our 808 and pipe a nice dot. If you haven't already done that, you can go ahead and do that first up and give it a little chill. If you want to learn that dot style in more depth, you should check out our video on 5 basic ways to X a cupcake, where we cover that in depth. We're going to finish it off and give it a cute little spring chick look by doing some little shells stacked up on the top, 2 dots for its eyes, and that little triangle for its beak. First up, we're going to use our yellow. We have our number 3 tip on it, and we're going to start up at the top just to give ourselves that little kind of coxcomb on top or that little bit of fluff on top of their heads. And just think about building up a shell and then doing a second and a third. And that'll give us kind of a cute little tuft on top of their head. Next up, the eyes. We're going to use that bag of blue with our number 2. Come down, think about halfway, and just do 2 dots. So you want to kind of go on either side of the yellow that we just piped. Take your time. And give yourself nice, clean little dots. We're going to finish it up with a cute little beak with our orange, also a number 2 tip. So think just in the middle between those dots and draw a nice, tight little triangle. And if you do that line really tight together, it'll give you a little closed triangle for your beak. Next up is our little grass-covered flower cupcake. For this one, we've done a nice big dot with our pink and our 806. We've let it chill, and then we're going to go in with our 233 and pipe grass on top. We're also going to pipe a cute little blossom. You can use any of the colors that you have extra of. We chose to do ours in yellow for a nice bit of contrast there with the pink and give it a little blue center. And you can chill those in advance as well, and then place them on easily once you get your grass on top. I have my bag of yellow. It has my number 102 tip on it, and I've got a small 2-inch flower nail that I've covered with a little bit of parchment, just so I can handle my flowers easily and get them chilled up. I'm going to pipe my teardrop petals. The back of my bag is going to be kind of off towards 130, fat end towards the center and touching, and you just want to pull out, rotate, and pull back for each of those petals. And we're just going to make a simple little 5-petal blossom. You need to, for that last petal, just rock the bag end of the bag up a little bit. We're going to finish it off with a center. We're using our blue with the number 2 tip. So just give it a nice dot right there in the center. I'm going to go ahead and prepare enough of these for the grass cupcakes that I'm making and get them on a tray and chilled so they're easy to use. We're going to get started on our little grass covered cupcake. I've got my pink buttercream dot on there and my bag with my green and my number 233. I'm going to just start in the middle, and we want to give ourselves a nice Bit of grass there, and we're going to work all the way around. So just go in concentric circles all the way around your cupcake. And we're just going to cover the top with some nice fluffy grass. And don't be afraid to get in there nice and dense. If you don't like some of your little blades from before, you can go right back on top of them. It's not a big deal. We just want to go ahead and cover the top, get things looking nice and full, like a little spring meadow. Once you get all your little grass cupcakes ready, it's time to grab some blossoms from the refrigerator. Ours are nice and chilled, so you can see it was easy to just remove it with that spatula and pop it right in place in the middle. If your grass has had a time to set up or chill or even crust a little bit, give yourself a little extra dab of buttercream under there to help things stick in place. Our final cupcake style is our little bunny bottom, and we've got a little bunny burrowing into some grass. We're going to use our grass tip first to go around the edges, and then our bag of white with our 806 to make a nice little dot in the middle. We're going to prep some cute little feet ahead of time on our flower nail and get them chilled and ready to go. And we're going to finish everything off with some little shells for a tail with our number 5 tip. First up for our bunnies, we're going to make some cute little feet on our flower nail. I'm going to go in with my number 12 tip and my bag of white, and I'm just going to start by making a dot and then extending it, sliding it down, making that nice little pill shape, and you can see it curves kind of in like that. And we're going to make another one. If you think of this one as the right, the left will curve the other direction. We're going to use our pink with the number 5 tip, and we're going to make some little kind of toe pads on this. When we do this, you want to kind of sink it down into the white just a little bit. So think a little closer than you normally would. And since it's nice and soft, it should kind of go into the other color. We're going to give it a nice dot up top and then 3 down at the bottom. And you can make the one that's kind of on the inside just a little bit bigger. So if you want to think of that like a little big toe, that's a great way to kind of visualize it. We're going to start working on our bunny cupcake by putting on some grass. I'm going to go all the way around the outside and just fill in. So think about making a nice ring of grass all the way around the outside. Just make sure when you're squeezing, you're letting those dots attach before you pull away. And if you need to, give it a second round and fill it in. Every once in a while you get a missed dot, especially if your cupcake curves. Something might not attach perfectly and might pull away. And you can kind of double up a little bit towards the inside. We just want to make that area a little bit smaller and get a nice full coverage on it. Next up, we want to take our bag of white with our 806 and give ourselves a nice dot right down there in that void. So let that frosting connect, just give it a nice, slow, smooth squeeze, and when you got the size you desire, stop and circle around. We've got our little chilled feet right here, and I'm just going to slide my spatula underneath it. And since it's nice and firm, it's easy to go ahead and place. And I want to give myself one on my right side. And one on my left. And I like to kind of angle them a little bit like a V towards the top. And then to finish us off, we're going to give ourselves 2 little shells at the top. So think almost like making a heart, but kind of upside down, and we're going to pull away. And that's just going to give us a cute little rabbit tail. A little bit of fluff there right at the top. And here we have our finished set of Easter cupcakes. If you enjoyed this lesson, we hope you check out some of our other lessons, like maybe our basic on 5 ways to ice a cupcake if you're looking for some fundamentals, or maybe one of our flower series cupcakes if you're looking for another challenge. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It truly supports our channel and helps us share more in-depth cake decorating lessons. Want to level up your skills? Our yearly membership has certificate programs from beginner and up. Learn more at cakedecoratingschool.com.